In the South Valley, a cold, calculated killer or an abused ex-wife who snapped. Court is back in session. The trial of Erica Sandoval. She shot and killed Daniel Green 10 years ago after breaking into his Goshen home while he was at the gym. CBS 47's Medeiros Babb breaks down today's testimony.
Taking the stand today was a college professor who does specialize in psychology. Now, she testified today after interviewing Erica Sandoval and examining the facts of the case that Daniel Green was the predominant aggressor. 38-year-old Erica Sandoval taking a break from testifying in a Porterville courtroom as her attorneys question Dr. Jamil Rogers, a licensed psychologist and a teacher at Pepperdine University.
Did you conduct a variety of assessments on Ms. Sandoval?
Yes, that is correct.
Dr. Rogers was hired by Sandoval's defense team to assess the rocky relationship between her and Exeter police officer Daniel Green.
Based on all your review of the material, did you identify a predominant aggressor in this relationship?
Yes, I did.
And who was that?
It was Mr. Green.
And why?
Given when we look at the frequency, the severity, the type of behaviors, while the review of records did indicate that Ms. Sandoval broke some things on occasions and also engaged in name calling, he engaged in almost every area of the power and control wheel.
The power control wheel. A wheel that Dr. Rogers and other researchers use to study intimate partner violence. That's domestic violence by a current or a former partner or spouse.
Physical abuse, it can also be emotional abuse.
Dr. Rogers also testified that Sandoval did meet all 7 criteria for battered women's syndrome, which is a pattern of behaviors of someone who has been abused. She says due to the circumstances, it is possible that Sandoval made an emotional decision on February 6, 2015.
It's a fear-based response. It's an emotion-based response.
During cross-examination, prosecutor David Alavezos pointing out the gender bias in the power wheel, which referred to the victim as she and her.
Is it bias to assume that men cannot be victims?
Dr. Rogers suggested that over 90% of primary aggressors are male. But that doesn't mean that men do not experience domestic violence. According to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1 in 7 men 18 and older in the United States are a victim of physical abuse by a partner. The number, however, is higher for women, standing at 1 in 4. Sandoval's attorneys will pay Dr. Rogers for her expertise and work on the case about $15,000. Now, Sandoval and Green had a very tumultuous relationship. They were caught on text messages and several recordings swearing at each other. They were both arrested back in 2011 for domestic violence, and Sandoval will resume her testimony later this week. Reporting from the South Valley, Medeiros Babb, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.